Alright, welcome everyone to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. Today we're going a little bit different. Instead of a modern deck profile, we're going to go back in time. One of the best things that Konami has ever done, in my opinion, was the introduction of making Time Wizard formats, aka classic formats here, for being able to actually give tournament and prize support for. And it's opened up a lot of tournaments. One of the most popular ones is GOAT format, but today we're going to go into Edison format, a very short-lived format that has since, in terms of the actual time it was alive in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, but in terms of its popularity, it's risen up. And today we're going to look at one of my personal all-time favorite decks, Blackwings. I got my first regional top with Blackwings. It's a deck that I played competitively with for many a year until the next ban list basically neutered whatever strength this deck had left. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and start with our monsters, and we'll do the Blackwing portion of it first. We've got here 3 Blackwings, Sirocco the Dawn. If your opponent controls the monster and you do not, you can normally summon this without tribute. You can choose one Blackwing monster you control, pump it up by the attack of all other Blackwings. Sirocco can be a game ender, it can be a starter with your Whirlwind. It's, a lure fodder, all sorts of different fodder, all sorts of different purposes. Sirocco is one that I feel very confidently on, that if you're running any kind of Blackwing deck, you should probably play 3 of it, because it is at this point in Yu-Gi-Oh! That I think Sirocco is at its absolute best. After Sirocco, we have probably one of my favorite ones. This is during the era of when the 1800 attack monster was the starter and end-all be-all of all the archetypes. We have the 1800 of Blackwings, Blackwing Shura, the blue flame. If it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, that's a very key part of the sentence there. You can special summon one Blackwing monster with less than 1500 attack from your deck in defense position. However, the effects of that monster are negated. Because of Shura's effect, that is how we are able to get Bayou as a level 1 tuner, which during this time, very rare without a ridiculous amount of restrictions. 1800, very good body, very good attack. One to be feared, especially in combination with Kalut. And yeah, great normal summon. Shura is always one that I want to see in my hand to be able to make my plays happen. After Shura, we have one of the best extenders in the deck. We are talking, of course, Blackwing Bora the Spear. 1700 attack. If you control another Blackwing monster, special summon this card from your hand. If it battles an opponent's defense position monster, it inflicts piercing damage. Bora with Sirocco is a very dangerous combination, especially if you have more than just those 2 on there. You can pump it up, you can deal massive amount of damage, because so many of the defense position monsters that people play have a little bit lower defense. Raikou being one of the most popular ones has 200 defense. Normally, that's 1500. Just one pump, that's 3500. So imagine with what else it can do more. And yeah, just as long as you control another Blackwing monster other than itself, free special summon. Cannot go wrong with that. Sorry, I gotta readjust my camera there. Next up, another 3 of, and the card, or one of the cards that so many people hate, absolutely hate, is Blackwing Kalut, the Moon Shadow. Battle phase attack damage step is a phrase not a lot of people like hearing during this format. Bump it up by 1400. It enables Bora to deal more damage and enables Shura to get over just about every big monster in the game. It could be a game ender. It's so good. You usually like to search it out with Whirlwind, but you can even kind of mess with your opponents a little bit by not even searching the Kalut with a Whirlwind. It makes them think that you already have 1 or 2 in hand, and you can just, and they may not attack you, or maybe bite into your little ruse Kalu genuinely makes so many plays possible in the Blackwing deck, and it's a shame that it gets hit here shortly after this format, but honestly, great card. One of the most annoying cards to deal with for sure. And then the last Blackwing that we are allowed to play 3 of, at least in terms of this deck list, we've got Triple Blizzard, the Far North. If it's summoned, special summon 1 level 4 lower Blackwing monster in defense position. No effect negation. It could actually get around Royal Oppression if you have Black Whirlwind and a suitable target, or a suitable target in deck to search out. One of the best combos you can do is summon Blizzard. Chainlink 1 Blizzard, Chainlink 2 Black Whirlwind. They cannot respond with Royal Oppression. Get your free summon, search out a Bayou. Not much more to say about it. Level 2 tuner is a bit awkward, but you can make it work. And then our 1-ofs in terms of our deck. 1, Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind. Such a clutch card. If you control another Blackwing monster, special summon it. Have the attack of 1 monster on the field, so unless they are over 2600, they are going to crash and die with Gale if Gale is your only monster. So it's good at taking out those 2500 attack position monsters like a Stardust or even a Goyo Guardian, bring it down to size so your other Blackwing monster can take care of it. It's a good reason why this was limited for such a long time. Just all the applications that Gale could do were pretty insane back in 2010. And then bit of an odd choice to only play 1-of, but it's one that I thought would work. 1 Blackwing Bayou, the Emblem of Honor. Special summoning it with Shura allows it to be a level 1. Ensures it that it can be just a normal level 1 tuner. The effect in Graveyard is great for bringing out bigger Blackwing monster bodies, but also a great way to kind of thin out the graveyard for your Dark Arm Dragon to become live. The amount of times I've used Bayou to not only get like a very good level 5 or 6 synchro monster out, but then thin out the graveyard and be able to get a Dark Arm Dragon and just basically go for game is pretty wild. In this version of the Blackwings though, more than 1 I feel could clog up your hand and kind of become dead weight, but 1 is a good number. But if you're playing Bayou Turbo, of course you're going to max out on it. And then finally, our 1-ofs. Gorz, Emissary of Darkness. Such a badass card. If you know, it's just wild what it could do. It's such a great defender. It forced us to play the game a certain way, to be like special or attack with the lowest ones first, then go up to the higher ones so that they wouldn't get a big ass Gorz token. You can still catch people off guard with it, but Gorz is such a great card. It does kind of conflict with our Black Whirlwinds, but most of the time whenever we have Gorz in hand, we're not our Black Whirlwinds are usually gone. And finally, Dark Arm Dragon. Let me pull that up a bit up there. Dark Arm Dragon, wild card, can end games, can finish games, can clear fields. 2800 special summon. Used to be the benchmark for what a powerful boss monster is. And in 2010, when there isn't that much widespread destruction, it is a fantastic all-around card. If you're running any kind of dark deck, run Dark Arm Dragon. You'll never be mad for running it. On to the spells. Our spells are going to be a little bit lighter here because we do rely mostly on traps, but we still have room to play some of our spells. One of my favorite spells to play. My body has a shield. Very good at countering cards like Icarus Attack, cards like Torrential Tribute, Mirror Force, Dark Arm Dragon even, because as long as it's destroying 1 monster on the field, pay 1500, negate it, and that applies for any spell, trap, or monster effect that would do that. Playing against Lightsworns, they priority Judgment Dragon you, chain my body as a shield. They just burnt 1,000 life points, lost their big Judgment Dragon. Very, very good card. Quick play as well, so you don't have to necessarily set it. Yeah. Black Whirlwind. It is our searcher. Whenever we normal summon a monster, go ahead and just search away. Yeah, like nothing bad to say about it. Most of the time, your opponent's gonna try to basically scramble to get rid of it because they don't want you constantly gaining resources just on the basis of you normal summoning a monster. So yeah, maximize it. I wish it was at 3, but play the 2 that we can. And then finally, the powerful one-of spells we have. Brain Control, pay 800, take control of a monster. Great for taking control of a problematic synchro monster, or a synchro monster that you can just tune off with one of your own tuners, or even a game ender. Allure of Darkness, draw power is always good. Play the one that we can. And gain advantage. Spell and trap card removal in the form of Mystical Space Typhoon. Again, play what you can. And then Heavy Storm. You could play Cold Wave, but again, this version of Blackwings relies so much on its traps that Cold Wave, more often than not, won't really benefit you over something like Heavy Storm. Just because you can heavy first and then set your stuff, unlike Cold Wave where you can't set anything after you play it. Alright, those were our spells. Moving on next here, we're going to go ahead and show off our traps, and we're going to play the most clutch trap of this deck, or one of them. Icarus Attack, tribute 1 winged beast monster, destroy up to 2 cards on the field. It's a good way to clear boards. It's a great way... Yeah, no, it's just a great way of getting rid of so much stuff. If your opponent tries to preemptively Starlight Road, just pop one of your monsters instead, because it says destroy 2 cards on the field, not on your opponent's field. So if they give you information, hey, take it. I don't know what else to say. You're playing so many winged beasts, sometimes it's good just to get rid of some and load up your graveyard and take out some cards with you. Great trade-off, if you ask me. Dimensional Prison, targeting removal. The only card that this doesn't really affect is Thought Ruler Archfiend, but in terms of kind of other big monsters, they'll get around. It absolutely eats Stardust Dragon alive. Just because A, they can't Stardust to protect the monster that's getting banished, and B, Stardust can't protect itself, so you get rid of one of the more annoying cards here. And yeah, banishing in this format is like almost like a death sentence for cards. So play Deep Prison. Double Bottomless, great removal of monsters, prevent basically any kind of the bigger monsters, Sand Stardust, from coming out. Pretty self-explanatory there. And then some one-ups. Mirror Force, great for wiping out the board if they don't have a Stardust Dragon. Starlight Road, great for kind of big removal, so counters Mirror Force, Torrential. Heavy, Icarus Attack if they're not trying to bait you out. Trap Dust Shoot, broken card, Hand Knowledge, plus getting rid of any one kind of key card in there, very good. Some Tools of the Bandit, used for basically negating traps. Solemn Judgment is only at 1, we'll play the 1-of, but 7 Tools of the Bandit is another really good card that you can play to kind of get around some of the more powerful traps, or even something like a Royal Decree, or stopping a activated Starlight Road if you don't have like Judgment down to stop it. And then one of the most broken cards in this time, Royal Oppression. Again, because we are running Gores, I don't really want to maximize too much on continuous spell or continuous traps. Royal Oppression, very good at 1, very good at controlling the pace of the game. You flip it up, you can stop so much stuff. Play it until You know, a card this powerful, I always say play it until it gets banned. We are going to go ahead and move on to the extra deck now. So we'll start with the only non-synchro, or the only, non-synchro monster we play, Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. We do side into Cyber Dragons, and then there are a few machine type decks out there. You know, some people like to play Ancient Gears, some people play Morphtronics, even against gadgets. Special summon the Cyber Dragon, send the cards up from the other side of the field to the graveyard, including your Cyber Dragon, get a free 2 to Lord knows how many machines they'll have out there, but get a free beat stick out there. But that is the only non-synchro rerun. We'll start off with our only level 5 here because I cannot find a magical android anywhere. Ally Justice Cataster destroys any non-battling, destroys any non-dark monster it battles automatically. There's a lot of really annoying non-dark synchro monsters, non-dark monsters in general that this will just get over. So yeah, that's what we played. Level 5, easy to make, great effect. For our level 6s, double Blackwing Armed Wing. Great for the piercing damage if you summon normally. Most of the time though, we are summoning it off of... Why am I struggling? We are summoning it off of the Bayou effect, but if you do get it off, you know, Blizzard and a Shura or a Bora, and you have Sirocco out on the field, Armed Wing is another way that you can potentially end the game if you have the right setup of cards. Like, even if you just have Sirocco and Armed Wing, pump up Armed Wing, it'll gain 40, it'll be at 4,300, and then its effect to gain an additional 500 whenever it battles a defense position monster. That's 48, and if you're attacking into a Raikou, that is 4,600 points of damage right there. It can end the game, but again, most of the time you're summoning it off of the Bayou. Bryanak, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Great form, or a great way to return a lot of cards from the field to the deck. Yeah, you play it, it's great. And then Goyo Guardian, fantastic, level 6, 2800, big beat stick. Summon the monster out to the side, to your side of the field. So if they need something to stay in the graveyard, like you know, Pyramid Turtle or any of the kind of recruiters, you can stop that. Summon out a tuner monster that they would potentially want, like a Plague or a Diva. Summon it out on your side of the field. Cannot go wrong with a beefy level 6 synchro monster like Goyo Guardian. Next up are level 7s. Black Rose Dragon. Field goes boom. Not much else to say. Field clear, you always play it. As long as we're in the synchro era, that is always a synchro monster you will have in your extra deck. Double Blackwing Armed Wing, or Armor Master, my apologies. Can destroy Stardust by battle. It itself cannot be destroyed by battle. Place a wedge counter on any big attack monsters that could be deemed problematic. Remove the counter during your next turn to reduce the attack by 0. Basically, you put their monster on timer. Your opponent's either going to get rid of it themselves, or you're going to be able to destroy it the next turn. You'll bring it out via Bayou means every now and then. But yeah, no, it is a fantastic synchro monster, and you know, just a great wall to have. Basically, in the era where, you know, Lightning Vortex is really kind of your big form of monster removal, aside from the aforementioned Blackwing, or not Blackwing, Black Rose Dragon. Like, it's a really annoying card that people can struggle to get rid of. So always play it. And then for our level 8s, Stardust. We play Starlight Road, and Stardust just in general is a fantastic card to go into. Thought Ruler Archfiend, big body, gets around some stuff like Dimensional Prison. Yeah, Dimensional Prison really is like one of the things that targets, or Book of Moon. Since it cannot be targeted by spell or trap cards, and then if it destroys a monster by battle, you gain life points, so very good card. Colossal Fighter or if it's destroyed by battle, just special summon it. Essentially, it can't be destroyed by battle, but smart players will find a way to get around that. And then if also gains 100 for each warrior type monster in both players' graveyards, so it's a great way to kind of have an annoying recurring monster. Dark End Dragon. Reduce its attack by 500, send a card, or send a monster. Yeah, send a monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. Literally outs those three. Doesn't target, doesn't destroy, completely outs those three prior monsters we have. Silverwind the Ascendant. Every now and then you may go into it, but the only time we ever really go into Silverwind is through a Bayou play. So those are it for our level 8s, and then the one level 9. We're still a little bit away from Trishula, so we gotta play the Mistworm. Just great non-destruction removal. You rarely go into it, but you still want to have just in case you can go into it. But honestly, I would probably swap that out for a Magical Android if I could find one. Alright, on to the extra deck. Pardon me. So these first 4 cards are whenever you want to switch to a more control variant of Blackwings. So you'll basically get rid of a lot of your kind of special summoning monsters. And then just play a more control variant of the deck. Double Fossil Dino Pachycephalo. Great at destroying. It could be a fantastic board wipe, but it's also great at kind of setting a tempo to where your opponent can't special summon. So if they're relying on that, they need to summon a big beat stick, and then you'll kind of have the spells and trap cards to prevent Fossil Dino's destruction. And then Thunder King Ryo. Can negate a Synchro Summon just through its effect, can prevents your opponent from adding cards from their deck to hand except by drawing, and with draw power not having a big presence because of the limitations of so many cards around this time. Like, Thunder King is just such a great stun to play against your opponent. Next up, kind of a personal favorite tech choice of mine here. Just because, going up against either rival Royal Oppressions, someone who maxes out on them, or someone playing Royal Decrees. Triple Trap Eater. Sending the continuous trap is part of cost, so they can't negate it with Royal Oppression. Level 4 Dark Tuner monster that you special summon out there, so it doesn't eat up your normal summon. Gets rid of a card your opponent controls, and yeah, you have like a monster that with your Shura or your Bora that you can just straight up go into a synchro play afterwards. One of my personal favorite tech cards to play, just because not too many people expect it. And some 2-ups, double Cyber Dragon, free body most of the time. Level 5 is very good, synergizes well with both both Gale and Blizzard. With Blizzard, we can go into level 7, so like Guard Black Rose. With Gale, we can go into Stardust, Thought Ruler, Dark End Dragon, Colossal. And then another Dark Wing Beast monster, Honorary Blackwing, Deity Crow. Discard, disrupt their graveyard plays. Very, very good. And then worst case scenario, you use it as fodder for Icarus attack. And then for our last few cards here, double Dust Tornado, just to destroy opposing spell or trap cards. Great for countering, or great for chain linking. Again, something like a Royal Decree, you activate Dust Tornado, resolves backwards, Decree never really goes off. And then I can't find my second deck dev, but Deck Devastation Virus, tribute off one of your 2000 or higher attack monsters, so Sirocco or any of the Dark Synchros you go into. Destroy all monsters that your opponent controls or has in their hand that have less than 1500 attack, so You know, for example, against Diva Hero, one of the best decks in Edison, Mally, Plague, Diva. I think some people even play Diamond Dude. But like all those key cards just instantly destroyed. They don't get the benefits of them. Like, really good. I don't know why you wouldn't play it. And you know, even against Blackwings, Kalut, Kalut, Gale, Blizzard, Vayu. Vayu's bad because they want Vayu in the graveyard, but the other three, just boom, easy way to deal with them. Alright guys, so that was my Blackwing deck profile. The only change I would currently make here for the deck is I would probably want to add Dark Eruptions in there somewhere. I feel like those add to the consistency of the deck. It enables for a larger grind game. If there's one thing I've kind of learned about Edison is that there is a lot more grinding that goes on, and so being able to have a way to recur resources probably wouldn't be a bad idea. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know down below what you guys play during Edison, and I will catch you all later.